Did you know that throughout the EU and its territories, business aviation is subject to various tax schemes? Did you know that these tax obligations are often overlooked due to complexity, data requirements, registration challenges, and the need for legal representation? Did you know that these taxes vary from country to country, can be difficult to identify, and may require specialized representation to ensure proper payment? And did you know that failing to comply can result in serious consequences? We're talking about hefty fines, inclusion on non-compliance lists, aircraft liens, and even flight denials. Missing a payment could have direct impact on your operation. Managing tax payments across multiple jurisdictions isn't just a headache, it's a drain on time and resources that should be spent on your core business. The complexity of these indirect taxes comes from the way they are regulated. Regulations place the burden on operators to determine if taxes apply, register when necessary, how to calculate liabilities, coordinate payments, and even maintain the documentation. Taxing authorities are often not going to send you a bill. It's your responsibility to identify tax liabilities and follow the process to resolve them. And what if you do get an invoice from a tax authority? More often than not, it's after a penalty or fine has already been applied. Even then, due diligence is essential, because many authorities don't have the necessary flight data to properly assess your tax liability. Here's one example. One of our clients recently received an overdue tax invoice from the French DGAC for over 140,000 euro. After we audited and reconciled the records, it turned out they only owed 21,000 euro. This is a kind of discrepancy that's happening more and more frequently. The message is clear. Don't wait on an invoice, be proactive. When an invoice does arrive, verify it because mistakes happen. Some operators assume they can avoid tax obligations simply by not registering, but that's not how liability works. Countries have tools to track unpaid liabilities using sources like Eurocontrol data, border control, and customs info. Traditionally, operators have tried to handle taxes on a trip-by-trip basis, but that approach creates inconsistency. It also moves tax compliance into trip planning, introducing friction, complexity, and potentially operational delays. New tax programs are continuously being introduced. The UK has had BizAv's taxes since the 1990s, but Denmark only introduced theirs this year. If you haven't operated in a country yet, you won't know what tax obligations apply until it's too late. It may not impact your next trip, but it could be a trip killer down the road. Many operators don't fully understand these programs. How do you calculate these taxes? How do you report and pay them? Are you even aware that some of these programs exist? The reality is that each country's regulations are different. Indirect taxes applied to commercial operations across the board, while some also impact private flights. And operators often assume that ground handlers or trip support providers are handling these taxes automatically, but that's just not the case. And that's why we created our EU Travel Tax Management Services. Our goal is to clean up your past liabilities, address outstanding obligations from historical ops, and set operators up with a forward-looking program. No more managing taxes trip by trip, no more guessing, no more gaps. With our new program, you get automatic monitoring of taxes owed on universal managed flights, accurate tax calculation, payment, and reporting, expert representation and consulting with tax authorities, and most importantly, invoicing through Universal, a one-stop shop. Instead of scrambling to resolve your tax issues in the middle of a trip, you'll be prepared no matter where you operate in the EU and its territories. The consequences of noncompliance today are monetary fines and penalties, but we don't know when a country might take a more aggressive stance like Mexico did with their Centium fees, leading to a near 72-hour nationwide ground stop just a few years ago. We don't know exactly when the hammer will drop, but we do know that these tax liabilities exist and the authorities are aware of your operations. Our job is to help you be proactive, clean up outstanding liabilities, and establish a system so that you're always ahead of the game. With Universal's EU Travel Tax Management Services, you have a simple, turnkey solution for travel tax compliance across the EU and its territories. Be prepared. Reduce friction in your flight department. Keep tax issues where they belong, in the back office, not in the middle of your trip operations.